In this week's episode, I talk about creating space for yourself and being able to say no. I talk about finding the right tribe and how you can start to communicate your needs in relationships.
Welcome to Man Quest Define Meaning, where we help men navigate modern life, find their true purpose, and redefine manhood. I'm your host, James, and each week, inspiring guests share their journeys of overcoming fear, embracing vulnerability, and finding success. From experts to everyday heroes, get practical advice and powerful insights. Struggling with career, relationships, or personal growth? We've got you covered. Join us on Man Quest Define Meaning. Now, let's dive in.
Let's start off by talking about finding a reason to keep going. Finding a reason to really take the next step and the next step. I remember the time when I was completely lost. I was like a zombie. And I felt that lost. I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know who to speak to. And I found it very hard to relate to people. Because everybody has answers. You know, you start to talk about what you're going through, and people say, I understand you. And I understand you. But I don't. Nobody understands what you go through because you are a completely different person to everybody else. They might have gone through something similar, but they can never really understand what you are personally going through. And this is it. This is where we have to take responsibility for ourselves. And we have to make a commitment, a decision that where I am now is not going to be where I am in a year's time. You have to make a decision that where I am now is going to change. And this is one of the hardest steps. Because when you are in that place of feeling lost and not knowing where to turn, it's very hard to figure out how to take that first step. And it comes down to, in my own eyes, trust. Trust that you know exactly what you need to do. But we have to find a way through all the noise and all the things going on in our life. And this is where taking time to ourselves, whether it's in silence, whether it's woodland walks, it could be baths, it could be anything. But it's within the time that we have alone that we are able to discover and become curious of ourselves and how we are able to really step forward in a world full of many things. And one thing I've come to realize is that the more that we can trust ourselves, trust our intuition, trust our gut instinct, the more we are going to head in that right direction. And this is something that I've personally been through myself. And so I understand sometimes the skepticism we have, the idea that this is all very woolly, or it can't be true. It can't be that easy. But from somebody who's done it, I know it can happen. I know that trusting ourselves to make that decision can impact our lives in such a tremendous, incredible way. And all it required was taking a step back. And this is a perfect example I can give you in this moment is the podcast. Taking that step of trusting myself to know what to say and when to say it, especially on these episodes where I just talk by myself. I've had this fear that I'm not going to be able to do it because what am I going to talk about? I've got nothing to talk about. But this is where trusting myself and trusting my intuition and knowing that all I've got to trust is this next word, and then the next word, and then the next word, and it will all come out. It's like speaking. I remember I was doing a professional speaking association competition at a conference. And literally I got on the stage, do my talk, which I practiced. And literally I could not remember the first paragraph. I had completely forgotten about it. And I had two choices in that moment. Choice one was that I just jacked it in and walked off and said, I'm not doing it. Or choice two, I just trust myself. Know that whatever comes out needs to come out. And just talk from the heart. Speak from the heart. And I do remember, I think I swore, out of 5-6 minutes, I think I swore 3 times. But the people within the audience could feel the passion coming from me. And I didn't win, that didn't really matter. The point was that I trusted myself in that moment. And it was that trust to know that I am the only one who knows what to do for me in that moment. And to trust and know that whether it's a breakup, whether it's to find a new relationship, whether it's in a business, work, finances, family, that you know what you need to do in that moment. And it just requires that we take a step back, whether that's silence, a walk, whatever it is for you. The key message here is to trust yourself. Just know that you have the answers. We don't need to seek the answers from the outside world, because seeking the answers from the outside world will only make us a little bit better. Seeking the answers from internally will give you the solutions to living an amazing, incredible, passionate, heartfelt life. And that's what we need more than ever at this time. So go out today and trust yourself and know that what needs to happen today will happen. I also want to give you another quick tip, which is to find your own tribe. Find a support group or people you can have to surround you who can help you to build yourself. Your own tribe. Bring out your best to express your greatest assets, your unique abilities, your talents, and to have a group of people who build you up, not break you down. It's about having a group of people, whether it's a group of men or women or mixed, who can help you to achieve your goals, to find your passions, to discover what you need to discover, and sometimes to ask the hard questions that we aren't willing to ask ourselves. One of the greatest things I have found from having a tribe of men around me is that I'm able to express my emotions and to chat about what's going on for me in an environment that is non-judgmental. I'm able to talk about the deepest of things, about my sadness, about my grief, about happiness and joy, and able to talk and to be able to express the real me. And this is one of the reasons why having a tribe of people who support you and to help build you up is so important. Now, this tribe isn't there for you to use to help you to find the answers. They're there to support you along that journey. They're not there to give you the answers. They're there to help you to really explore your most intricate parts. They're there to help you to explore difficulties in relationships, whether you want to leave a job or to start a business. This is what having a tribe is all about. And so how do you find your tribe? It all depends upon what you want. Because if you're a man and you're looking for a group of men, then there's actually if you look hard enough, there's quite a lot. So there's the Mankind Project, there's the Unmasked Man, there's the Awakened Man, which I've just found out myself. And there's lots of different groups. It's just a matter of searching on Google. Now, to discover which group is right for you, that requires going and trialing, whether it's online or in person. I actually prefer in-person groups simply because I like the connection. But it's all down to you. So it's all down to really allowing yourself to go to these groups, to explore and to seek what you want from this group. Now, what I will do is I'll put a few links of the groups in the info box so that you could just click on a website and go straight to it. Now, there is one last thing that I really want to talk about that's happened to me the last couple of weeks at an ecstatic dance retreat. And there's been many, many different things which have come up, which I've realized. But one thing that kind of can relate to everybody out there is about taking your own space. I know that I am an introvert, and there's times when I'm around the right people where I can be really extroverted. But I always have to come back to the introvert part, because I know if I'm out there around people too long, I get very overwhelmed. I become less present, and it's this realization which has kind of spurred me on to take time to myself on a regular basis, where I'm able to do things which build me. So things such as going for a walk in a woodland. It could be journaling, having a cup of tea. It could be having a bath. It could be going and doing something such as a day out for yourself, a spa treatment, a massage, whatever it is that really helps you to connect to you. Because there's been too many occasions where I've been to events, whether it's friends, family, and I didn't really want to be there. And so me not really wanting to be there and not being able to be truly myself is doing not just the people a disservice, but I'm doing myself a disservice. So it's when somebody asks you, do you want to do this? It's about allowing yourself space to come back to yourself and to ask yourself, do I really want to do that? And if the answer is no, then say no. But say, no, not thank you, not at this time. Maybe another time. Because when we think no, or we don't want to do it, and we do it, we are creating that inner turmoil within ourselves. And so by saying no when we mean no, we are honoring ourselves. So in fact, we are then honoring that person. And I noticed during this 5-day dance retreat that there were times when I had to take myself away from people. I had to go and connect to the grass, the ground, the trees, the wildlife. I had to go and find my own space and journal or speak out loud to myself about it. And all I was doing was honoring myself. But what I'm doing as well is I'm honoring the other people, because having a conversation with somebody when you're not fully present is doing that person a disjustice. The key from this is really when somebody asks you, do you want to do this with me, or do you want to do that? It's taking them a few seconds to connect, to center back into your own body and asking yourself, do I really want to do that? Or is there something else that I want to do? And then if the answer is a no, then say, no, sorry, not at this time. Or you could just say no. I think what was mentioned at the dance retreat was that us English find it hard to say no. Yet it's one of the best things that we can do. Because we're setting boundaries. We are being truly ourselves. This may also include having space and time to yourself within relationships. Because I can relate to this in the past as well. So there's been times where I've been around my partner at that time for 2 or 3 full days. And I noticed myself just getting a little bit overwhelmed. And so it's understanding when you need that space and being able to communicate that to your partner. Obviously not in a blunt way, in a nice way, but it's about honoring both sides. And it's about saying to that person that in this moment, I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit anxious. I just need 5, 10, 30, 60 minutes, or even a couple of hours to myself to reconnect back to me. And when I say reconnect back to me, what I mean is just sitting there, taking a few nice deep breaths, letting it all go. And then asking yourself, what is it that I need to fill myself back up? And as we mentioned, there are many things you can do. And everybody's individual. And I think relationships is a hard one, because I know from my personal experience that fear of asking for space, that fear of, if I ask for this space now, are they going to reject me? Are they going to feel bad and leave me because they're getting scared? And that might happen. Then if it happens, is that person right for you if you can't take your own space? And it's that, and I've had that realization in the past where being an introvert, I need my own space. And if I can't get my own space in a relationship, and is that relationship that I have right? And at the time, I wasn't in the right headspace, just to clarify things. But yeah, there's many, many things that we can realize about ourselves and to bring ourselves back to us. We have 3 amazing guests in the next 3 weeks come to talk to you about their transformation and how they have personally taken responsibility and changed their lives. I would like to thank the listeners for tuning in. And remember, if you have any feedback or any reviews, I would love to hear. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.